Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors trading on margin. Utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
I got an alert in on GBP JPY.
Oh, you got pound yen? What time?
Well, my VPS says 2.
Oh, interesting.
So
Oh, I've got my
7
one.
minutes ago.
It's still there. Yep. A little too tight to the support, but it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, eh? Let's go see.
That support isn't that strong either.
Yeah. Let's go see pound yen. Yeah, but I don't like, I'm not a fan of these counter trend trades. You know, let's go see on the 1 hour. What do we got? The 1 hour, really nice, strong buy. If we had a 1 hour AIRO, that would be pretty phenomenal. Let's go check. I've been liking the 30-minute. Well, let's go through the Q&A and attack that as fast as we can. Yeah, please be aware, guys. There's a lot of news coming. There's big news for the GBP. I think it's an interest rate decision or something. And then there's big news in the US as well around the housing, new homes or something like that. And then there is news around oil reserves, which has a pretty significant impact on the US and Canadian dollars. So that's some kind of the headwinds that we could be looking into right now. Now, if anyone sees anyone on the panel that, anyone in the chat that's supposed to be in the panel, just let me know. Yeah, Shaquille, you don't like, yeah, but it's just me, right? Just because I don't like a certain trade setup doesn't mean it's not a good trade setup. It just means I don't like it.
Yeah,
and I'm not a financial advisor.
No, but you have to understand that everyone will develop their own preferences in applying the various AIRO strategies. And if counter trend trading isn't your thing, you'll just skip those.
Yeah, and I'll preface this with that, stating kind of that I do a lot of stuff on TradingView, so you're going to see me pull up my TradingView charts often. I'm not going to apologize for that. It's just because I like the platform, the TradingView platform. I've got different tools on there that I use to help confirm my trades, and then I'll do the setup for pound yen as I see it, and then I'll give you an idea of where I think it might go. This is not a forecast. This is just the probabilities that it goes in that direction.
Yeah, it might be worthwhile mentioning that we have various educators on AIRO. And it also means that each educator has their own strengths, their own expertise. Matt is really great in technical analysis, as is El and Brian, the guys from the Hawkeye team. They are great in their technical analysis skills and bring a lot of value on that topic to the table. Nate, of course, is the master of AIRO. He developed it. But he has a very good way in making it understandable for beginners. Also touching some of the newer strategies that he has released. We have Coach Mo and we have Jackie, and they are just great on trading indices. So you can learn different things from all the different educators. And in there, you probably will develop your own preferences and your own favorites as well. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, for sure. So if we get another alert, let me know. But I just wanted to do this for the fun of it because I saw something that might be interesting. Now, there's a lot of lines on here, so don't get overwhelmed. This is just a price channel. But I just wanted to see if this is going to hold value later on because it might come down.
Yeah. You know, Matt, if you're new, and I still remember the very first Hawkeye call that I entered.
Yeah.
Holy crap. This is it's really high level skills. But you know, the more that you see it, the more that you listen to it, the more it lands with you. So if you're new, don't get overwhelmed by it. Don't be scared off. Stick with the basics. You will find those as well.
Yeah, we're gonna take some things. All right, frozen VPS. Well, what's happening is probably it's not your VPS that's frozen, it's your MetaTrader 4. So make sure that you actually close out your MetaTrader 4. So not minimize, but close. So I've got some AIRO things that I'm testing. So it's a little bit fun. I'm testing on the 1 minute, but let's go see. These are messing around with some different time frames, different alerts. It's an absolute jewel that we have in our hands here. So if anyone sees, so Angela, seems like, so you've closed MetaTrader 4, you've seen some things messed up. You know what, Angela? Send me a message in Telegram or Facebook directly. I'll put my name in the chat. You can find me. I'm not hard to find. And I will take a look personally at your software and see how we can get it to work, okay? Because I know there was a couple people that have had some really hard challenges, and unfortunately, it's been prohibiting them from, or holding them off from trading effectively. So this is how you spell my name. It is French.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
One observation with these MT4s freezing up on us. I've noticed, we do the Hawkeye calls at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and typically there's no issues
right
during that session. It seems like pretty regularly the pattern is sometime right around 9 a.m., when New York's waking up and London is still in, that's when we get all these freezing problems. And it seems to go away around 10:30, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's just these couple hours when London and New York are open. I don't know if there's any relevance to that, but
there is, because that's what I've noticed as well. I've noticed that it happens exactly around this exact same time frame.
Yeah.
That it gets really buggy, it gets slow, problematic. Things are just.
I'm seeing it myself right now. We were just flying during the Hawkeye, and now I just strategically close some of my charts right around 9 o'clock to try to, lessen the memory load on the VPN right around now.
Interesting. Yeah, let's check this out real quick. I got a question around trailing stop losses. Honestly, I don't use them because, and I'll explain to you why I don't use trailing stop losses and why I don't really like them and whatever else. So, for example, for the sake of clarity, say your entry's here, okay? And your take profit, you want to let it run. So you enter here or there. It'll actually be easier on a 5-minute chart. That way you can see it better. It'll make sense. Oh, by the way, the reason I put my trend line here is because this is not exactly a bounce, but it's good enough for me. It's close enough. And so you see how it respected this line here? That's a little bit of a support line. I don't trust it yet. I'd need it to bounce off here again. So what I foresee happening is for pound yen, it's going to bounce between this zone and this trend line, this zone or that one. So by the time it gets here, it's going to break out. So we're just kind of setting up a trap, seeing what's going to happen. And using AIRO as our confirmation for entry. But why I don't like trailing stops is if you're trailing your stop by, for example, on the pound yen, if you're trailing it by 10 pips, so say your entry is here. Say you had an awesome entry and then you wanted to go for like, I don't know, in this case, you wanted to go 40 pips. 40 pips was your target, was your end goal, somewhere up there. You're not going to make that with a 5 pip trailing stop or a 10 pip trailing stop, because what's going to happen is you're going to get here. It's going to activate your trailing stop. It'll kick you out here. So you're actually, instead of making the whatever pips this was, 40 something, you would be making about 30. Instead of, if you just had your analysis that said, if you get a bounce off this line or you went to another zone, you could actually take it and go up 70 pips. It's kind of why I don't like the trailing stop, because it's going to come back down. It's going to cycle. So price moves in waves. You see wave, wave, wave. So your trailing stop is going to knock you out of the park before your technical analysis target does. I hope that kind of makes sense. And about executing one, there's lots of videos online but it all depends on what your trading platform is. Some people use MetaTrader 4, some people use TradingView to execute their trades. So you'll have to refer to just a quick Google search. But that's why I don't like the logic behind trailing stop. I'd rather take out 75% of my lot size and then let 25% run if I wanted to get an extended one. Claudio has a quick question as we're waiting for alerts. And if anyone does, excuse me, losing my voice. Just a sec. Excuse me. All right, good. Claudio has a great question around scalp basics of M1 with RSI. I don't recall showing anyone anything about scalping on RSI with the 1 minute. The only thing that a person could do, and this comes into kind of Coach Mo's world, she would be the queen of scalping, I guess you would call it. Let me just check my other setup of AIRO here. So EG, just for the heck of it, okay? This is my scalping setup on the 1 minute. But you can see it's she's taking its toll, right? So EG, you see EG see, if you were to scalp EG, you would be looking for a buy based on bag.
You want coffee? Or you still have
My wonderful wife just brought me some food. Sorry. So right here, if you were looking to scalp this, I would just take it from zone. You know, like you do have room here You just have to do a volume of trades. Just use AIRO. Go from one zone to another and take a piece. You can scalp using it. You just need a volume of demo trades. Don't go live expecting that you're gonna knock it out of the park scalping yet. I'm not scalping this software, so I'm gonna close this one down because I get way too many alerts. Let's put it that way. It's alert overwhelming. All right. GU on what time frame, Wajad? What time frame are we looking at? Got a great group of people this morning, 120 people from all around the world. Lydia. $15. All right, let's go check this out. So GU 15-minute. Is that a trade you took? Did we have an alert? Or was it something that you've already been in for a while?
He said it was an old trade. Looks like a win.
Sure does. Just a sec here. All right.
Matt, do you have all the crosses, all the pairs open on your?
I have no, I don't. I have quite a few though. What's up?
I'm just kind of thinking maybe between you, me, and Mariska, we can have sort of different charts open, but not all of them. So we each don't get frozen up, but we can call trades, you know, with all of them that way.
I like that. I've got most of the
yeah, I have some ones. I have Nate's 10 myself right now.
Yeah, I got a couple odd ones.
I got Nate's and Bitcoin, of course, because I'm just a big fan of Bitcoin.
So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll open, I sort of have it in a good order. I'll open some of the other charts just so we don't miss any opportunity.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yep.
And I'm sure our thanks, Benjamin.
Our audience will notify us.
Oh, they will. Trust me, they will. They're like, hey, we need some insight on this one. Like, yeah,
so
absolutely.
Then it's quick to open a chart and to put AIRO on it.
Yeah, it's very quick. It's very quick. I don't have a lot of problems with that. So,
right.
It's, the only reason I use Market Watch open, Benjamin, is because if someone calls out a trade, I need to just drag and drop the chart. I don't experience a whole bunch of issues with that. I don't think we're allowed to send out the link to this, Mariska, to prospects.
The link for this call.
Yeah, are we?
Well, it's not really a problem to send it out. On the other hand, there are various groups that already have several recordings of live sessions. So what we like to do right now is to keep these live trading sessions that we have for everyone who is actually paying for their AIRO indicator, or their AIRO trading system. I think indicator is just not enough to cover everything that it comes with. So in the Auvoria Prime product testimonial groups, there are recordings from live sessions that have taken place in the early phase when we just launched AIRO, and feel free to tag people there so they can have a look at what a live trading session is all about.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I know that we want to keep this kind of bring some value, bring some value to the family who's paying for the software, because it's a great software. Listen, guys, AP could sell this software just like that, no training, no nothing, and still do amazing.
And just keep in mind, and that's something that I always will emphasize when I talk with people who are interested in learning how to trade manually. Like, if you're paying for AIRO, sure, it's $119 per month. But with that, you not only get 10 strategies and an amazing indicator, but you also get over 25 hours of live trading sessions every single week. If we look at 4 weeks, that's over 100 hours, meaning that you're basically paying $1 per hour. That's it. That's dirt cheap.
Yeah, for sure. Considering that if I put everything together and I would only be paying myself $1 an hour for all the time I spent on the charts, a lot of us that have been trading for a while would be very well off. Let's put it that way. So
yeah, exactly. But it's so much value, and that's the message that you need to bring to people. Like, okay, there's no guarantees that every trading session you will have trades that are winners, but you have a guarantee that there's a value being delivered every single session.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just, pardon me while I enjoy my breakfast just as I'm muting myself and whatnot. I don't like cold breakfast. It's one of my pet peeves.
Enjoy.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I get your point, David.
It's being worked on. Trust me.
There was an update. There was an update yesterday, wasn't there, Mariska?
Yeah, there's an update that all people that were in the queue for having a new VPS delivered, those have been delivered. So no more people waiting for a VPS. In the meantime, our previous and current VPS provider, they are putting in a lot of time to upgrade their own services, because we have found that when we all are on a live trading session and all their other customers are on their VPSs, it tends to freeze all over the place. We are even working with a third VPS provider just to make sure that we will be well prepared without freezing VPS situations, because it's a loading issue. It's not that much that it's AIRO. It's when a lot of people are using the servers from the VPS provider at the same time, there is a loading problem. And that's being improved as we speak. It's a luxury problem because it means that the growth of Auvoria Prime has been massive in the last couple of weeks, and we continue to see that. That's why we are expanding in the number of VPS providers and are looking into other ways of expanding that service as well. So keep the faith. Yes, there are some bumps that we have to live with right now, with a VPS that doesn't respond or an MT4 that doesn't respond properly. That's temporary. Trust me, that will be temporary. We will overcome that.
See, it's not as simple as just going out to your local computer store and buying a computer, right? Like you can't just go into Best Buy and say, hey, I need 3,000 new VPS. There's a significant amount of work. It needs to be configured and programmed and whatnot. So that's
Exactly.
why it takes multiple weeks of it's growing pains, like we continue to say.
Yep. And in the beginning, in the early phase, it was just trying to find out what was actually happening, what was causing the fact that it was working fine for people in Europe. The London session hardly ever had a problem. But then somewhere when we all were in the New York session, that's when the issues started to appear. So you need to find out what the root cause is of a problem before you can fix it.
Absolutely. So we got UCAD. We'll see what happens here.
I don't even have that pair open. It's not my favorite.
No, I don't blame you. And I'm very cautious because there's news coming out. If I can find it. Usually I have all my pairs sorted in order because that's the only way I can keep my sanity or whatever's
Middle
left
row.
of it.
It's really in the center of your screen.
Oh, like legit. Okay, got it.
Like bullseye.
Right in the middle. Yeah. See, so you're in a downtrend, right? And then you got an up arrow. Your red zone's right here. So I'm not liking this at all. I'm more of the opinion that we're going to go down and look for a down arrow. You see how this down arrow made a really good move? This up arrow is not such a great move. This up arrow, not such a great move. You don't want to be buying in a downtrend. You want to be going with the trend.
It's pretty close to the resistance zone as well.
Yeah. So that might be another entry, though. You could potentially take a short from that zone, depending if you have. So if we go down to the 5 minute, what are we going to have? Probably have an arrow up there. Let's go see. Nope, no arrow. Let's go see the 1. The 1 might give us an arrow.
There must be an arrow somewhere.
Oh, there's got to be. Okay, so here's your 1 minute. You see it looks vastly different. So no, I wouldn't touch this one, simply put. There's especially because there's news coming. And it has to do with oil.
Yep.
And because of the, I think they called it the Trans Mountain or Keystone XL cancellation from a macroeconomic level, it just obliterated the Canadian economy. Like a failure of that magnitude is really impacting, and that has something to do with the downtrend on the USD Cad. Oh, Noah, you know what? Let me share my observations. So he had a great question. How dangerous would it be to form a trading strategy around red folders and the idea of fundamentally? Would it be fundamentally bad? I don't put a whole lot of weight, on understanding the macroeconomics of the world and checking the fundamentals and all that. What I tend to do the most is any red news folders I try to stay away from. I'll do my best, unless it's a beautiful, perfect setup, to not take a trade about 30 minutes before red folder news and about 30 minutes after. Because when I do, potentially things just go a little bit out of control. And that's just an observation.
It's also personal. I think.
Oh, for sure. If you want to.
Yeah. I know that I've worked with a hedge fund in the past who had a very successful strategy, but it was only trading the news. only trading the news and then under very specific conditions, meaning that it would trade about 5 days per month. That's all. And did pretty good on that. But when you want to learn how to trade using AIRO, it's technical. It's really technical based. But if you grow in your own experience and in your level of understanding of the fundamental news coming out, sure, you can develop your own strategy. So it's not fundamentally bad. I only think that if you're new, technicals are the best way to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I get that completely. Yeah, that's a great observation that the VPS kind of freezes up and messes up right at the London session open, which I find kind of ironic, right? Like our Hawkeye session, we don't have any problems.
It's basically when the New York session opens.
Exactly.
Yeah, London's
perfect. London, there's most day traders are not awake during London, right? In North America, right? So most people, I'm saying, a lot of people like to trade the New York session. London, people don't people don't want to wake up at like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning because it's not conducive for most people's lifestyles.
And it's kind of funny because London has the highest volume.
Yep, and it's the world's. Oh yeah, it's the World Economic Center. But yeah, no, I avoid the news as much as I can. Now I believe this. I believe that news doesn't turn around price, and people are not going to agree with me on this, but I believe news just accelerates whatever was going to happen in the first place. I think and that's just what I've seen over the course of the last 4 years or so, is that it accelerates whatever was going to happen. But sometimes you get like these big fat wicks and the movements are exponentially bigger and faster than usual, but it's still going to end up going where it was going to go in the first place.
If you will look at charts, you will always see that if you do your technical analysis, the news that comes out only is noise. And you will see some fake outs, you will see some enormous wicks, maybe one huge candle, and then everything gets back to where it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And more often than not, that's the case. Like, for example, story time, I took a wonderful trade right before non-farm payroll on, I think it was Kiwi, NZD, whatever. All of a sudden, 100 pip wick comes out. It was like 1 minute candle, had 40 pip wick against me. But guess what? My stop loss was tight enough that it wasn't detrimental. But that's kind of it sucks when that happens. But guess what happened? Exactly like Mariska said. After the news event, it came to within 20 pips of where it was originally.
Yep. For Anonymous, the large wicks, it means that it only peaked and around news. That's very often just speculators who are gambling on the market moving in a specific direction. And you will very often already see that before the news actually comes out.
So here's an example. Here's a long wick, okay? I'll highlight it because sometimes it's not easy to see. Here. This long wick, this is like 20 pips, give or take, 25, whatever. That means price came up and said, no, I'm not going up there, and then came down. Now it's going to try and come back up there eventually. But the reality is from this wedge and this overall structure, you see where that bounce was, where we had this confirmation and that confirmation. I now see, just because I don't have any alerts that are overly viable at this point.
And that truly was on news that came out.
Yeah. So I kind of see this as what could happen. So if it breaks out of here, it could go a significant amount of pips, but just understand this is like 75 pips. So where wedges come into play and into question, there's two barriers that you can have. One is on the other side of this one. The higher probability is on this side. This is where you could put your stop loss. The likelihood that it breaks through this bottom is very unlikely. More unlikely than it is to break here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Let me see. So if I'm getting dead dog tired of trying to attend all the trading sessions, which would be my order of pick? Not sure what you're talking. So there's the 2 a.m. There's no 6 a.m. You're talking Eastern time, right? I'll talk Eastern time for the sake of my sanity. So you can do the 2 a.m. London. You can do the Hawkeye at 7:30, or you could do the 9 o'clock on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, till about 1. So it's kind of you gotta pick your poison. You're gonna burn yourself out if you try to make all the calls. Just FYI.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You're like I did that for 2 weeks, and my wife said you look like. Anyway, yeah, pretty much. She's like, you look like you're an addict. I'm like, well, listen, we need to.
True.
I'm addicted to what we're doing because this is next level.
Let me help.
So Matt, just
Gilad just puts in the chat, like, at least I can listen to you guys. No way to think about trading during New York anymore with this VPS whole week already. Let me give you a workaround. Go to your network, download the MT4 on your own desktop. Log in to your trading account. Then you can enjoy these sessions, these live sessions. And if you agree in taking a trade, take that trade through your desktop and not on your VPS until everything is solved. You will put your take profit and your stop loss there, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. So GCAD, let's go see what we got going on here from the GCAD perspective. Let's go see AIRO first.
got an AIRO for pound yen.
Pound yen buy.
Yeah.
I think that's the direction we were looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's awfully tight to the resistance.
No, it's no good. Okay.
I'll tell you, one that might be sitting up nicely here is pound Australian dollars.
Pound Aussie.
Yeah, we don't got an AIRO yet, but it's, if you want to take a quick peek, it's looking promising. Maybe on the scanner.
Yeah.
That's the yen.
No, I know. I'm just looking.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is it's going to smoke through this red zone.
What makes you see that?
Just some other. Where is it? Pound yen. But we'll go check the other. What was the other alert? We had an alert, right? If I didn't get.
Yeah, that's the pound.
That's
yen
the one here.
Was
okay.
The alert. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just mentioned the pound. I just mentioned the pound Australian, but.
GA. Let's go check GA. I don't. You know what? The more I look at the pound yen, it didn't retrace enough from what I've looked at. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You said GA, right? GA, no bounce.
Yeah, there's no bounce. There's no arrow yet, but it could be setting up here in the next couple of candles. It's retracing back down right now.
No, I never said that London was the best. I said that London is the world's, like, the center of the world's financial market. And yes, a vast majority of the trades do occur during that time, but there are plenty of successful Forex traders that don't trade the London session. So you don't, it's not you need to trade the London session if you want to be successful. The people that trade the London session because they don't have accurate tools and they need big fat stop losses and need to take big fat moves. We don't need big fat moves. We don't need it. We don't use 100 pip stop loss generally. So we don't need to get 100 pips or 50 pips. We need 20 or even 10 because our stop loss is controlled. So yeah, GA is interesting.
In fact, it is regardless of what session you are trading, you can be successful in any of them.
Yeah, because you've literally got the best tools on the market. The absolute best. Oh, okay. Let me see something. This is GA. I'm just trying to figure out where and when I do this and if I'm going to adjust it, right? So this is 30-minute chart. Kind of broke out of the bottom a little bit, zigzagged. Interesting. So this trend line is actually a little interesting. You got a bounce here, and then you got a bounce here, and then you got a bounce here. So this support then becomes resistance.
Yep.
So if you had an AIRO alert here and you knew you had this trend line, this could be your target. You don't have to worry about how far to go because you know price has already come onto this line so many times. So in reality, now this is not forecasting, okay, but there is a probability that this could go down as far as here because it broke out, it came back and it retested it. It still kind of held, you know, the wicks are just, it's not too bad. It's not great, but you could be looking for something here. And that would be more of a swing trade. That would be something that would be lasting quite a while. Let me see here from this perspective. Yeah, it's okay. I'm just going to answer this real quick. Usd Cad. What else do we have? On the GU. Well, actually, I don't play around a whole lot with Head and Shoulders. I use it for my hair. But give me a sec. GU. And you're talking about what time frame? 15-minute? So you're saying this is a head, this is shoulder, this is shoulder? Kind of like you're awkward to the left? I don't know.
I don't really see a head and shoulder in there.
Not so much. Maybe I don't know. but because my eyes are tuned to see this, okay? This is all I see all the time, and that's just the way it is. So I've seen this, but I draw a couple, right? I go from bottom, and then I see what one makes more sense, and then I delete the ones that don't make sense. So I go from bottom, and I start drawing wedges. So in reality, I like this one better, but we'll see what happens. So now I got tops. I don't know. Let's see. This could be interesting. This could be problematic. This could be problematic. Oh, what is it? GU? Helps if I'm on the right currency pair, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It misclicked. So we're going to try something first. Don't like this. Let's go 30-minute. It's still too narrow. So this, it's got 3 points. I'm forcing it to touch, but I'm just going to go down to the lower time frame and see if it kind of makes sense. You know, it broke out of the bottom and it's kind of retesting. GU, I see it probably coming down. I don't see it coming back up into this area. Is that what...
I think a lot of people are waiting for that.
What, for it to come down?
Yeah, especially if they are in Gearbox or Variable in GU trades.
Yeah. I got a couple in there. What do we got? GU? No. CAD Swiss Yen, Kiwi, Swiss, Aussie Swiss, Euro AUD. Yeah, I got a couple. Nothing to sweat about. Yeah, Sandy, you're totally right. I hear that all the time. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. I've got a 4-year-old and a 6-month-old. So actually, I even called my my trading company Swimming with the Sharks because my little guy likes baby shark. So I kind of use that as a yeah. Think of it that way. All right, let's see.
For the sake of fun, Matt, since we don't have much alerts coming in, so a lot of people are looking at Bitcoin. Yeah,
okay.
Bitcoin price.
So let's go see Bitcoin. Let's have some real fun. How about this?
Absolutely.
Right. So this is not a forecast. It's not financial advice. I'm just doing a little bit of analysis.
Exactly.
That's strictly that. Okay. Now I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking at from wedge perspective. And then because Bitcoin likes to do its own thing. It loves to consolidate really weird. And I found that you kind of need to go to the higher time frames if you want to do any kind of technical analysis for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You can't do the lower time frames. You see this, there's actually a wedge here, but I don't, like it gets messy. So let's see. This is your top. So if we're looking for sells, we're going to look at that first. And that's no good, right? So I don't like this this top here. There's something funky happening. It's just weird. So let's see if I can find some other confirmation of this uptrend. And this is probably just a retracement. From a price action perspective, that's pretty funky. So this is a pitchfork. This is kind of like trend lines on steroids.
Yeah, I love them.
They're cool. They kind of give you, so you see the price channel where it's at. I need to adjust this because it's not right, but so what I'm looking for is I'm looking to swing that right here. So what I'm looking to do is connect as many wicks as I can. So I got wicks in the back. I got this swing high, this swing low. Now I'm making it point up. So I got bounce, bounce, and now it consolidated, bounced on this line, kind of there. And you know what's really fun about this part? Now that I have this out here, just while we're waiting, okay? Because I don't want to.
Exactly.
If you guys get lost, please don't worry. Maybe sometime we'll do something with pitchforks. 2.5.
That might be a whole separate workshop.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. So here's 2.5. Let's try 3. So these are all valid bounces, okay? Because that's a very powerful price channel. Here. So now we can go down to the lower time frames and see some kind of interaction with this pitchfork. And this might bring a little bit more clarity. You see how these bounces are actually on these lines? Okay. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Now we're having some fun. Because now that I have lines across and down, I can make my wedges really easily. Because I can visually see where I should put the wedge. The realities of the wedges are that when you put a stick here, vast majority of the time you put it from the second hit is what I like. Right here. And then you put it to the break. And it's going to get there like something like 70% of the time. But if you only wanted to hit a small piece of this, then it doesn't matter. Here, this would miss officially, but it might be because my wedge wasn't 100%. Yeah, that's it. My wedge was off, so my stick was off. You see what I mean? So you're saying 62 for this weekend. It's quite a bold claim, and I think you're right on the money, because I think this is the bottom. Seeing this as the bottom, and then, but don't go just randomly. You use AIRO to do a confirmation, right? So now we're going to overlay AIRO as we're waiting for another alert. So let's go see Bitcoin. Control M. Bitcoin. Now, not all brokers are going to allow you to trade Bitcoin and whatnot. If you don't have a broker that allows it, then get back to the person who your sponsor and whatnot, and they can connect you in the right direction.
There are some brokers that are open even during weekends.
Yep.
To especially trade crypto.
Yep.
But just ask around in the community that you're part of, with your sponsor, with your uplines. They can point you in the right direction. And always do your own research on the quality of a broker and the reliability.
Yeah.
I'm using a broker that just started 6 months ago. I would like to see them in business a bit longer.
Right. But I do like the fact that certain brokers have very good spreads.
Yes.
And I'd
Huge
rather,
difference.
listen, guys, one of the things you want to do, it doesn't only bear down into spreads. I'd rather pay higher commissions and have better spreads and know that my broker is not going to screw around with my trades. They're not going to be altering the entries or altering the position sizes. That is something really important.
Blocking you from closing a trade.
Oh yeah, that's terrible. Sometimes I've experienced this myself. I've entered a trade and I've entered a stop loss, and the broker doesn't accept the stop loss. It just disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about someone messing around with your trades? It's time to get rid of B and C book brokers. There's better options available.
Yeah.
Just talk to the community, and we'll make sure we get you plugged in. Oh, Daniel, you're talking about Elliott Wave. Yeah. Oh, Euro AUD is finally on the move. So let's go check Euro AUD. Yeah, breaking down. So that was the alert. That would have been 15. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good target if you guys were in there. You want to see something interesting? Let's do a comparison of Euro AUD. I'm going to show you how the wedges and stuff actually confirm the zones that are presented on
AIRO.
On the AIRO. So Euro AUD, right? This is I did this a while back, whatever. Breaking to the downside. Still in that trade. I like the setup. It looked nice. What's that zone at? 15311. 15311. So that's the start of the zone, right? So this is a high probability trade. If you wanted to stretch it a little bit more, you could go through the zone and try to double your pips, or you could go even further into the zone. But it all depends on what your risk appetite is. Myself, I like the high probability trades. So I'm going to go over here. So 5309. Let me go see what my stop loss was on that, or my take profit. $52.89. Where did I put that? $52.89. So mine is down here on this line. So depends. Depends what a person wants to do. I'm gonna adjust it. 5309.
Around 5310. I got my TP.
Is that where you put it?
Yep.
Let's adjust this for a little bit. Yeah, and Daniel, no logarithmic charts. I don't know. I don't use them. $53.10. Oh, gotta love TradingView. Gotta love. Sorry, MetaTrader 4. Gotta love it. There, 53.10. Makes me a happy camper. Just a little bit every day. Well, Sandy, I've been in that trade for a while. That's the thing. I took it at the AIRO. So if someone wants to get in, then they can. But I'm not telling them because it's not. You're pretty far into the move, in my opinion. You see, you got your AIRO, you got your bounce, AIRO, and then you got your room tiered zone. So
if you're looking for a back entry, you will just have to conclude that you missed this one. And that's an opportunity for you.
And we got our 20 pips from the hot guy on that trade, Matt.
Good.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
So everyone who took that at the Hawkeye session, congratulations.
Yeah. So David, great question around the talking about brokers. You see some of my pairs are .pro, some of them are regular. Well, depending on what broker you use, they have different options available. Variable spread, pro. I find I use it not because it's professional, specifically, it's just because it has tighter spreads. And yes, the commissions are $1 more per standard pip, but standard lot, but I don't care because I want tighter spreads. I want the tightest spreads I can get so that if something like this happens, or we had a great trade the other day and people jumped out of it. Jackie called it yesterday on the, let's go see. Oh, not this one.
I forgot which one it was. She got out as well.
Yeah, she did. She jumped out early.
Yeah,
that was a mistake. I put the wrong currency pair in. CAD yen? Yeah, CAD yen. It was CAD yen. So we did CAD yen. Send me a message directly, Don, if you want to know who I'm using and whatnot. CAD yen. So, all right. Sorry, guys. If you're brand new, there's a whole bunch of lines here. I can kind of explain a little bit as we're waiting for another alert. As soon as we get an alert, let me know, please, okay? So, yesterday, we only had the white, okay? This was the first one, first light up, and this was the second target. So, it came back against us. Came back against us pretty hard. People exited here at a loss. But Nate teaches the 40 pip stop loss. Well, from the entry to the stop, if we are long, I forget exactly where we ended up taking this, but whatever. It basically it came like 30 some pips against us from our point of entry. I still had about 10 pips stop loss. So I think my stop loss was a couple pips below this low here. This seems about where it was at. I knew that if it came down and it broke there, I didn't want to be in that trade anyway, because that means this is a whole fake out. So we didn't see all this at that time. What I did is I took the trend line from here. I went back and I hit this, and I hit this, and I hit this, and I hit that. Oh, sorry. I never hit this because that wasn't there yet. So when price came down and bounced on this line, I said, hey, cool. No worries. Let's take it. And then this morning, I drew this one this morning, okay? I didn't have this forecast set up. All this orange stuff, I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't there. So I went from the bottom of this channel, this price channel, to the top where this wedge is. I drew a wedge. I took the stick and I put it where the break was of price, and it went exactly there. I did not take this trade all the way up, but this is 80 pips. So just because you take a big dip you need to trust the system, right? That was a bag entry on point. Now, if you really wanted to take things to a new level, on the bag, on the AIRO, you would have seen, if you did the peekaboo technique, you wouldn't have been in this whole drawdown. You would have waited because there was zone, 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 and then you could enter here because your analysis still holds. Just because you get a buy entry here doesn't mean you have to take it right there. You can wait a bit, get a better entry, 25 pips down. A 25 pip pullback into this move brings this total move to over 100 pips.
Ka-ching.
Yeah. We already looked at pound yen a couple times. We can go take another look at it, see if the picture changed. People love to trade the pound yen, but it likes to move during the London session the most.
And crazy moves it can have.
Oh yeah, you're not trading the pound yen with a 20 pip stop loss.
Nope.
Like, it's not happening. For example, the CAD yen alone moves pretty good. It moves pretty good. Let's put it that way. But the pound yen, look at the way that it's moved. So, right. So you're going short, or did you go long, Darren? Right. So if this is burning your bottom,
how's your stop loss then?
Right. That means I'm believing that your position size might be a little too big, because your stop loss needs to be able to be down here by this low. Like, if you got in at the top, you're in trouble. You don't want to be buying tops. You want to be buying bottoms. And you want to be sticking to bag entries. So where's pound yen? When's the last AIRO on the 15? All right. So if we overlay this, yeah, see, bounce, AIRO. You're not going because you don't have enough room. Right? Now I still see it breaking and going through there, but it's probably going to take a while before it gets through there. Could take a significant while. So who knows? But this is the wedge, and I'm not taking a trade unless it breaks through there, or unless we get an AIRO alert. This is no trade. But hey, you know what, Darren? Don't worry about taking trades that are not going to work out. Just take trades. Like I gave a note in the session. Well, anonymous, that's a great question. It's something that came up with Coach Mo. Put things together, and what she did is she looked back at the losing trades. That's the logic. She looked back at the losing trades and said, why are we losing trades? And then she noticed that if she went down to the lower time frames, from the 15-minute to the 5, that vast majority of the time there's a zone. There's a zone there, and you don't want to take the trade until then. So there's another thought on that. NZD USD? Okay. Lydia, let's go check this out. NZD USD. See if we can put some money in your pockets here.
This one looks interesting.
Okay. I don't even have that on my charts, do I?
It's a counter trend trade.
Okay.
Just past the 10 p.m. Eastern or a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
yeah, Al, hey. Perfect. Al's here. Al was called out a beautiful trade this morning, and it just went right to town. Hold on here. I'm just checking the attendees here. There you are. Here's my friend, my trading partner. You know, Al, myself, and Brian, we've done going on about 5 months of live sessions for Auvoria Prime. Monday to Friday for like 5 months. Started with the AIRO, and now we've pivoted over to the AIRO platform for now. So let's see. Yeah, Darren, that's great. Keeping a trade journal is such an important detail, because then you can go revisit and you see your losers, right? And when you go back and you review, you can see opportunities. I'm sorry here. What did you say here? I lost your question. What currency pair was that? NZD what? Something NZD? GBP NZD? Oh, NZD USD. All right. NZD USD. Let's go see. No, I think I'm pushing the system to its limits. But we got to remember, you know, what was it? 10, 15 years ago, we were using dial-up to get an internet, especially where I was in the world.
Oh yeah, the good old days.
Right. So if it takes 10 seconds to load, relax. Like, your life's not going to change in 10 seconds. People taking Euro AUD short and USD Swiss long.
You know, check out NCD USD. It looks like we just got an alert on that.
Yeah, that's what I got on my screen, but good old AIRO, she's not loading for me.
Yeah, it looks like it's a possible good back entry, actually.
For a short counter trend.
For a short.
Look at the room on that. NZD USD. I'm just going to check something.
We're still within, we're past our contra trend zone, though.
Right. But there's that big wick there, Al. That really big wick.
Yeah.
I like that. I actually really like that.
And NZD is stronger than the USD, but not by much.
Okay.
They're still kind of fighting for first place.
Let me see.
Let's adjust my charts here.
It's kind of the top of the range, isn't it, Al? So it's not a bad trade, because this is what I have here. when I did this, it's kind of the top. So you would be
Could be
trying
the
to pick
beginning.
the top. Sorry, go ahead.
That's a pretty good information there, Matt.
Yeah,
It is.
good.
It's really
Good.
nice. You see,
Nice M
boom,
at the
boom,
top.
boom, boom. So this is a bigger wedge. This is a really strong trend line here, guys.
Yeah, lots of room to the 200 moving average, which is well within the range of the trade.
Yeah, and if you wanted to have even an additional confirmation, what you could do from an analysis perspective is add a trend line here. So now you got a little wedge. So if it breaks out of this wedge, I'm in that trade to the downside. That's just kind of my additional confirmation. Or if it bounces off of this trend line, and I would take it to about here. That's about what I would do.
I would be looking at a pass and check of that trend line, pass it, check it, and then head on down to that 200 moving average.
Yeah, that 200 EMA. Look at this. Oh, see, I like this because that's right where price originated it. This is a big long rejection wick, so this could be cool. Let me put my 200 EMA on there. See if we got something. This is cool. 200 EMA indicators. 200.
6 pips away from hitting TP on Euro Aussie, Matt.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, there's plenty of room. Look at that. Look at the irony of this. So this zone right here, this is pretty solid. There's a lot of confluence in that one area. It could bounce off here again. A lot of things are lining up. And I'm going to add one more line and leave that like that. But to me, I like drawing a lot of lines. Then later on, I'll just delete them if they're no good. That's awesome. Euro AUD. You crushed it. Oh yeah, Mark. Yeah, no. So what I didn't mean to say is, yes, your life can change in 10 seconds, but when it comes to trading, 10 seconds can be kind of in it. Yeah, EA, we've already tagged our take profit on that one. It's beautiful. NZD USD, where would I draw my fib? There's a couple places you could draw your fib. And maybe I'll put it this way. So you can look at the origination of the move. So this run up starts here. So we'll see what happens. Hold on. So from here, you could go to this wick, right? Or you can take it up to here, which is where I would probably be putting it. So if this comes down to the 61.8 retracement of this entire move, which it could, that's powerful. Because you got your 200 EMA, you got your 61.8 retracement of this move up, you've got your trend lines that are kind of lining up, you got your wedge, there's a whole bunch of stuff on here that's telling me that it could be going into this zone. So let's go pound yen sell. Did you see that, CB? Is that
I have to look again here.
Oh, 5 minute. My bad.
Oh,
I forgot to change it.
there's your answer.
Yeah. The pound yen, some people like to refer it to as the dragon. 4 years ago, when I started trading, I took a call from another company. Supposed to be this amazing trader. Supposed to be great. Anyway, was in profit for a little bit. Came back against me, blew 50% of my trading account. That was the first month of me trading. It's been a journey, and I've been kind of burned by this currency pair. I know Nate loves this one. Here's on the 15. See, we're still in that consolidation zone. So we're going to want to have a breakout before you would consider taking anything in that, on that pair. The only reason I enjoy the wedges and stuff is also because it allows me to go through the zones. Because I found that certain trend lines and wedges are more powerful than certain resistance zones. This is a pretty strong resistance zone, so it's going to take a little bit to get through it, if it does. But remember, we're in an uptrend. See, green, 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 green. So we're only looking for buys pretty much. If you're going counter trend, you've got this really strong zone down here. So this is not something I would be looking at for a short. It's a lower probability trade. Let's see. Where's the wedge? Just going through the questions real quick. But on the other side, we need to keep in mind that it could just as easily blow right through here. Just like it has all these probabilities of coming here, it's still probabilities. Yeah, the pound yen can be called the widow maker as well. My wife is great, so she understands what she's totally sold on the idea of trading as the future of our freedom, our financial independence and our freedom. Trading is the way to go. It has the lowest barrier to entry. And with a system like AIRO, we're looking at something really powerful. So we got a lot of news coming up, guys. Just be aware. These are not all red news events, but we could have some pretty big moves in the market as we're sitting here waiting for another trade idea. So let's go do some analysis, actually, just on some on the pound pairs. Have an idea. So Euro GBP. This is what I got. 15-minute breakout. You see how it broke the wedge, came back up and tested it, and then you got your 200 EMA. So you're only looking for sells on EG. You're not going to want to buy. That's a big rejection wick. That's really strong. So if we go here, if it breaks this, there might be a likelihood of taking a. If it breaks this and we get an AIRO alert for a short, that's a strong short potentially. But just don't go out there without an additional confirmation. Just don't take what I say as the gospel truth, right? Do your own analysis. Yeah, so some people, Carrie, oh, sorry, my little guy. Some people were having issues, not so much with AIRO freezing, but just MetaTrader 4 loading, MetaTrader 4 freezing. It's just been growing pains, to be honest. And it's not ideal. As you can tell, I do a lot of wedges. Not all of them work out, but this trend line here is very, very, very strong. It's a very strong trend line to the downside. And Mariska, if you are still here.
I am.
Oh, there you are. Cool.
No,
yeah, this is a pitchfork. So we're going to the downside with the pitchfork. And then I set this up a while back, and we're still getting some pretty good bounces on this pitchfork. This is a little bit off, but because of I think this was drawn on the hourly chart, that's okay. That's okay for me. So we'll see what happens here. This will be fun. I mean, this is nothing to shake a stick at, right? Like you can from these wedge formations in combination with the AIRO and the zones that generate, you can have a pretty good entry. You see how your 200 EMA is on this way down? And if you put here, I'll show you another thing. Not here. Here. This would be better. Check this out. So where it breaks the wedge, this wouldn't be true. This would be a little bit off because I did this at a higher time frame. You see how the little guy. You see how it was off a little bit because we drew it at a higher time frame.
Don't worry about the little guy playing, Matt.
I know you're trying to build your castle.
Huh. Well,
all right.
From home, so hearing some background noises from playing kids, that's just normal.
Yeah. So here, this wick here, this wedge, that's the kind of target that you could do. That's like 40 pips, guys. That's pretty significant from that break. So if you even had your stop on the other side of this strong trend line, you were pretty good. Let's go see what's happening current price. You see, we put this here a while ago, and it's still respecting it. See, it's kind of consolidating. And the fun part of all of this, everything we do, is the lower you go, the more accurate you get, the faster it moves. So now we can use AIRO and get tighter entries because you don't need a 40 pip stop loss when you have different kind of confirmations. So if you're only looking for 10 pips, potentially the top to the bottom of this is about maybe 15. So wherever it breaks, okay, if it breaks down here, that would be interesting. It's probably going to break to the upside, but we'll see. So if it breaks up here, now we've got all these crazy lines that look like it's not making sense, but some of these are going to bounce price pretty good because we're in an uptrend on the 5 minute. And if I wanted to know from a Fibonacci level where it's at, it's about 38.2. If I went here, It's 38.2 retracement of that move. So we'll see what happens. This will be fun. This will be, let's go wait and check our AIRO, see what else we got. What else we could play with. Euro JPY. I think that's one of the pairs. Euro JPY. $200 EMA. There's your price channel for the last little bit. You're back into that price channel. I don't like it anymore. I'm not married to one little trend line, right? We're can't be so decisive about one thing that you're just gonna ignore the other signs. So or here. So this is your wedge. This is your breakout. On EJ. So let's see how we can marry this all together. So on EJ, we got a lot of green zones, right? We got a lot of green zones. So we're only looking for buys. So there could be a nice setup here for a retracement. So if I wanted to see how far this is going to come down, you got a couple options. This is the origination of this move. It could come down to 38.2 before you would want to take a buy. But 23.6 is not one of those levels that you'd want to buy at. Nate has done the math on it, and he actually doesn't even use it on his Fibonacci. So note here that there's something pretty interesting. You've got a zone here between 38.2 and 61.8 of this, that there's been a lot of price action. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Let me just see what our AIRO says. What's that? 128.29. 128. Yeah, it's like this area here. So I'm a little bit higher than the green zone. So this would be the resistance. I don't like these counter trend trades. I just haven't had a lot of luck with them. Doesn't mean that some... Oh, Darren, yeah, you took the L for the pound yen, eh? What do we got here? This is 30. You know, the problem with the pound yen was it was in consolidation. Yeah. So let me delete that. See that big wick? Al, this would be considered a rally base and then looking for another rally, right?
Oh, hang on. I need to find out where you are here. Hang on.
Pound yen, my friend.
Pound yen. Let me take a look. see what I'm trying to look for. Trying to find your screen here. Hang on just a second.
Oh, you're fine. I know you only got like 18 screens over there, so.
That's okay. I've got something trying to find where. There you are. I know I see you.
Nice.
Okay. So what was the question again?
From the OTA perspective, this could be, is it a true assessment that this would be a rally, a base, and a rally potentially?
From the real strong up move, that would be the rally to where it started about where your wedge is. That'd be the base, and then looking for another rally above that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what time frame you on here? You're on a 15 minute.
15. Yeah.
Yeah. Normally a rally-based rally goes. Usually you're only going to get maybe 2 or 3 candles inside the rally, the basing part of the rally. So this is a little bit more. This is a little bit more.
This would be higher time frame then. Like a higher time frame rally.
Yeah, if you're looking at maybe like if you're looking at say like a 4-hour chart or probably maybe even a daily chart, you may be seeing that this be it's
okay, I see you.
That big blue candle, and you have a couple small ones, and then it breaks out again.
Yeah,
this one's basing a little bit more than normal, but yeah, like from a daily standpoint, that would be, or 4-hour standpoint, that would be a true statement.
Okay, all right, that's cool. I like that. Learning new things.
Yep.
Learning new things.
Usually, basically, what it is, it's where there's a consolidation period, and then it takes off to another rally again. It's pretty much what happens with that.
Right.
And oftentimes what we'll do is it'll rally, it'll rally again. They'll come back and retest where that basing was. If the retest holds, it's going to go back up and retest the new high. If it doesn't hold, that means that the basing is breaking down. It's going to go down pretty much to the origin of where the rally began.
It's your turnaround point.
Yeah.
So you could have like a ABC correction.
Correct.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Because I don't do Elliott wave count. Because
I do on occasions, but not. I kind of gotten away from that a little bit.
Yeah, because here, like this could be potentially 1. Here's 2, and then so your X, A, B, C.
Right. Exactly.
Sorry. What was it? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 3.
And then 4, your 4 wave that consolidates.
Right, and then it goes up and
right, and then 5.
4 to 5, and then
then it goes ABC on the way down.
Get the turnaround. Right. Exactly.
Right. So this is what could happen here. No forecasting though, guys. So it's just waiting for we got the trap set. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. That's pretty much it. Let's go check. This one's on the downtrend. If you guys have any alerts, let me know. Time frame and currency pairing question, and we will address that as soon as we can. So we got GCAD. What did you say here? GCAD 15 short. Were you in that short there, J. Cruz? Yeah, all right. So let's go check. See what AIRO does. GCAD. We got UCAD too. No, hold on. I must not be scanning it. We got UCAD. We got GCAD. Let's do GCAD first. And maybe that's a broker thing because I don't got no. The heck's this? Oh, possible upcoming buy. Come on, J. Cruz. You got me all confused now. All right. UCAD. Let's go do that. Let's stick with the AIRO. What the AIRO gives us, we trade the AIRO. So this looks good. There's no zone down here. You got nothing. UCAD. The news is no surprise because of the Biden effect. UCAD. So we've got a nice zone up here and a zone here. So this is where it gets really fun, guys, is you can take some much tighter trades. So I might wait for a little pullback before I get in. But if I wanted to the thing about waiting for a potential pullback is that you might miss the move. But you can get a tighter entry potentially. I don't like breaking wicks, but this will be where I like it. I like to go for bigger wedges, not very narrow ones. You see how it likes the 200 moving average.
I have to hop off into another call. But thank you for today. It's been really valuable with all the technical analysis being very sparse. I think the attendees as well who have other software running in understanding where the market may go for certain pairs.
So, absolutely.
Take care. And see
hey, thank you, my friend. Really appreciate your guidance and input, and we'll talk to you sooner than later.
Okie dokie. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, Mariska. It's been pretty slow, to be honest, today. It's been watching paint dry. We want to do some peekaboo on the M5, eh? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Oh, Coach Mo would be so happy. You know, I took some trades sometimes and it doesn't pan out. And sometimes I go back to the 5 just to see why. See, you do have a green zone there, but I'm in a strong downtrend, right? Like I don't see this holding. This is going to disappear. This is a very strong downtrend. I see it coming up a little bit more. Maybe going to retest that moving average, the AIRO moving average. Oh yeah, I keep on closing that one out. Oh, and CB, just as a side note, you're actually an hour and a half closer to me than Ava is. It'll only take me 4 hours and 20 minutes to get to your place. It'll take me almost 6 hours to get to where Ava is.
Would you drive in Canada most of the way, or would you come down to the States?
I go right to Syracuse. Syracuse and then west.
Oh yeah, you're up in where are you?
Right, I'm like right next to Montreal.
Oh, okay, yeah. I actually went to college in the top part of New York State in a town called Canton, and we were like 20 minutes from the border up there, and we would do some road trips to Montreal.
Yep.
A long time ago, Matt.
Matt, you want to check out the USD Cad? You may want to check that one out.
Yeah, we got it, man.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're sitting on this, just waiting for the nice little setup. I mean, Peekaboo says wait a bit. Officially, you got to bounce AIRO go.
Matt, for new traders looking at a trade like this, and I'll sort of speak for a newer level trader, not having a support level below, there's is a bottomless pit right now in this chart.
Right. So stick in the
should
arrow.
people be nervous about that, or what's your opinion when you don't have the opposite zone on a chart like this?
You know what? I'm not worried at all about that.
I always look to see where the target is, see where we can find a target on a higher time frame, to see what go back to the left and see where the target is, and see if we're bouncing off that zone on a higher time frame. I wouldn't go to the peekaboo on this particularly, just because it's the 15-minute arrow usually stands on its own. If you're getting like 2 arrows in a row, then you could go to the multiple time frame strategy that Nate uses. But for something like this, I just find out, are you in the right direction and where's the next zone? And it could be days away. And if it is, that could be a very good trade.
Yeah, like UCAD, I'm going on the daily and I'm getting a green zone. But that daily, guys, all the rest of the daily zones are all red. And I can't go back any further than that due to the limitations of MetaTrader 4. But what I can do, let's go back to the daily chart, right? Al loves doing this. This is like, and we can find out where it was last time. So now we're talking about 2018, 3 years ago. That's the last time that it came into this area. That's pretty significant.
And right now the CAD is definitely stronger on the heat map for the other time frames. The US dollar is weakening to the CAD. So this gives me some reason to believe that this could be a nice little trade to the south side.
Absolutely. This could be actually really nice one.
Let's see what US CAD looks like on.
So this is that zone, right? That zone that I drew out. I just dragged it over. And I said this hasn't been here since April of 2018.
Actually, I have to go back to a weekly chart to find the.
Oh, I went daily. Did you were you able to go back or?
Well, I'm right there. Okay, it's right now at a wick area of back in the like you said, April of 2018. It's in that zone, but it has a lot of wicks right below it. So looks like at 124.40 would be the bottom of the zone, right about where it is right now.
124.40. Oh, look at me. I almost had it. There. So this zone here, if she breaks through there, there might be some that's a pretty big break.
Basically, there's a wick that tested right. There's a wick that tested
right down there.
In between that, I'd be looking at a bounce off of the 125.27 area, which is still 25 pips away. So I think this is a good target to take.
Okay, I like that. 25 pips away, guys. Strong downtrend. AIRO. The only thing that you could do to further improve this is potentially wait for a bounce from the top, like a little bit of a pullback. The more the pullback you get into, the closer you get to this line, the better your entry. But there's no problem in taking it where it is and using the 40 pip stop loss. For example, your 40 pip stop loss is going to put you, if I took it right here and I went to 400, right? Because we're talking points or ticks or whatever. You're at the top of this wick, which is a good stop. That's a fine stop. I don't like this. We already know that that's there. So that's a fine stop. Alternatively, if you've drawn a lot of wedges, and I'm not advising anyone to do this unless they've done a significant amount of wedges, and you've got other types of confirmations, you could potentially put your stop on the other side here and have a really tight stop loss, which means that anytime the trade goes 10 pips in your favor, you make whatever you risk. So if you put 2% into a 10 pip stop loss, every time you go 10 pips, you make 2%. It's just that you might get stopped out more often, which is fine. Because if you potentially took it from here, and even if you just took it to the bottom of the wedge, you didn't even worry about the other target, right? What was our other target, Al? We had a target of like
the one target was at
25.
52 was the first target on this one.
52.
Yeah, 125, 125,
Oh.
27, 125, 27.
27. That's 50% of my stick. That's a good target. And then the other one is down here. So let me just see what I have going on. Just using another chart real quick. I think it's going to pull back a bit and then come down.
That's already pulled back from where the alert actually was. So this is also a pullback right now.
Yeah, still a little bit. I still see it having a little bit more gas to the upside.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then let's bring it down to something more reasonable here. Because that's that green zone, that peekaboo 5-minute green zone, right? But I'm, like I said, I'm not going to put a lot of weight because I'm not trading the 5-minute level. I'm trading the higher time frame.
I use the peekaboo if I'm trading like the indices or gold. Then I think this peekaboo is more valuable there. But if you're on a 15-minute time frame, you're not looking for a swing trade, but you're looking for more of like a day trade, not a scalp. The peekaboo is good for like a scalping strategy when you're scalping the indexes or the gold, or even the Bitcoin. It'd probably fall into that same category. But when looking at a 15-minute, you're looking more, not so much, I mean, the hour you're looking at, hourly chart, you're looking more like a swing trade where you're going to be in it for a couple of days. The 15-minute, you should be able to look at and pretty much get in and out within 24 hours. You should probably be out of your trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where the difference lies. So but again, the higher the time frame, the bigger the stop, then also the bigger the target. So
all right.
If you're scalping, you're looking at 5 pips and maybe a 10 pip stop as opposed to a 20 pip target and a 40 pip stop. It all depends. Right. There again, it depends on what your risk appetite is.
I'm fine where it's at. USD Cad. We'll take it this way. Then we're going to adjust that stop based on the entry, right? So if I did 40 and I said I wanted that target here, 20, we had, what did we say, Al? 20, 25, 27?
Yeah, that would be my first target, I would say, which is right at the bottom of, that's, pretty much 25, 27 area.
That's pretty good. That's a solid trade. Well, at least the setup's good. I'm happy with it. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I'm willing to take that loss.
Yeah, actually 125.31 is a blue fib line, so that would expect it to bounce off of that.
125.31?
Yeah, you may want to actually bring it up to like maybe 125.32 or 33.
Okay.
That way.
Yeah, I don't want to touch that fib line. So that's another thing that we do in Hawkeye is we use a lot of Fibos. 125. What was it?
Did you guys notice there's a new support zone on the M15 now for US CAD?
Oh, look at that. Okay. Let's go check. I didn't notice that. Watch me get into that trade and then
it just popped in there. It just popped in.
NZD USD. What do we got? NZD USD and pound yen and pound CAD.
I looked at those. There's not too much.
No, nothing to write home about, eh?
Well, pound CAD has a double arrow weight going straight down. So
Yeah, that's a.
Yeah, the US Cad is definitely on a downtrend. So it's
Yeah.
that little zone just sort of popped up there. I would not deter that. I would not jump out of the trade because of that right now.
No, I don't. I'm not changing my forecast for that. Not forecast, but my analysis.
We are in a downtrend.
Yeah, that's where I see it going through that zone. Maybe not like a hot knife through butter, but I mean, it hasn't been in this place for quite a significant amount of time. And most people, let's answer this live. I'm still waiting for a phone call. It's supposed to call me at 11, but I didn't get a phone call. Nothing like making a bank deposit and your bank deposit gets stuck in the debit machine, in the ATM machine. It takes 3 weeks to figure out where the money is. Yeah.
Matt, I'm gonna step away for a few minutes. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're completely fine. Thank you so much, Al. I just really appreciate your help, your insight. Al's got a lot of years of trading behind him. Great wise man. That's why I like our community. We got people from every line. You got pilots like Al. Someone was still in Euro AUD. Come on, guys. You guys didn't put a stop loss or a take profit. It's basing. Here, I'll show you Euro AUD real quick. Wonder what I did with that zone, why that's there. Okay, anyway. Things are not always going to go right there. Now you got a new zone, right? This is your new bottom. And then we're going to go here. I hope this is making sense, guys. I hope this is not too much of a foreign language. You think NZD USD is breaking through the zone? It's going to go through that. Let's go see what's going to happen here. Give me just a sec. Okay. NZD USD, you said. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, it hasn't broken yet. Remember what we said about potentially taking a counter trend trade? It's still in consolidation. If it breaks the top here, boom. Okay, great. But if it rejects here, like it appears to be doing, then it could consolidate more and then eventually come down. This is not time specific. This is just price specific target. So it actually could be somewhere over here by the time it eventually gets there. But it's kind of a price specific target. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know if we'll be able to stay on long enough to see this one play out, but this could be an interesting trade setup. Let me go see my.
I don't know if you want to look at it, Matt. I just took a buy on Ethereum.
Oh yeah, let's do some crypto. Everyone's like, "Oh, you guys don't do crypto." I'm like, "Well, if there's a nice setup, I'll do crypto." Oh yeah, okay. I see what you did there.
Okay, Matt, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. I made my coffee too weak this morning. We're looking at Ethereum, Al. We're gonna go do some Ethereum.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, I can pull that one up on my trade station on my trading view.
Yeah.
Pretty classic bag entry.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it up. Good old
it's coming back
Ethereum.
up to its. Let's go back to daily chart on this. I like trading. Looking at these cryptos. I like looking at more on a daily chart than an hourly or 15-minute chart.
Yeah, I do like the.
It's on the 5 minute. Ethereum's the trade's on the 5 minute.
Your trade's on the 5.
Yep.
I see exactly what you did.
I'm guessing it's a buy. Just looking at.
Yep.
Yes, sir. That's a long trade. That's a long trade all day, actually. All day. I might take that on my other account. Actually, I have a crypto account specifically.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too.
50% pullback, looking for a target of about, I'm going to say...
18?
Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong chart here.
Come on, Al.
I was on ES, I was in ESH rather than ETH.
ETH?
But anyway, it looks like the NASDAQ's going back up to the potential of about 4,100.
Oh, okay.
Just FYI, that's on a daily chart looking at that one. All right, Ethereum, let's take a look at that.
Oh, I didn't even add it to my pairs on this account. Ethereum.
I put my take profit just below that resistance zone, and I have my stop loss right below the 200 moving average.
Oh, right below it. That's tight. I like that.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing with. Yeah, with
Interesting.
crypto, I've been.
Interesting. I actually like that. Ooh, look at that. It executed. And I'm not taking it just because CB said that it was a good trade. I actually did my own analysis on it. So, and anytime you take a trade, you don't want to be taking it because someone else is taking it or because they say it's a good trade. You want to be kind of doing your own analysis and seeing if it fits within what you think is a good trade or not. Cool. We'll see. Might get a little bit of heat on that. So you're saying your 200. Why is my 200 EMA different than you? Oh, it's because it's on a 5-minute chart, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was on the 15. So the 15-minute 200 EMA is obviously going to be different than that one.
Right.
So you're not even letting it go to 1580.
No, I mean I could. I'm trying to control my losses with these little scalp trades with crypto.
Yeah. Wonder, Ethereum's not that bad. It's not moving like crazy, especially at 0.01, right?
Right.
Because I don't even count the pips. I just put the price. So probably not doing that the right way,
Yeah.
but I really don't care at this point. I'm going to put 1580 as my stop because I like that.
Yeah, because then you'd be down at the support.
Yeah, you'd be on the other side of it almost.
Yeah.
So like 1580 is going to put me about here, right underneath that wick, underneath this wick. And that's where this rally comes into play, where it broke out of here. There's a wedge. I didn't draw it, but there's a wedge here, and then it broke out. And then you have another wedge, and it broke out. And then you have another wedge, and it broke down. So now you have another, you have a downwards channel, and now it's breaking up. So that's actually a really nice trade, man.
Yeah, and I just took your advice. I moved my stop loss down a bit just so I don't get knocked out. A little retrace.
Makes sense. So what's your take profit to the zone? 1705?
Yeah, I went right up to the edge of the zone. So I'm trying to get the what's my number here?
Yeah, I think it's 11705.
Like
1705? 3? Whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Just below the two tops of those M's.
Right on. Yeah, because you're going to want to be lower than that in case it comes up and it kind of dangles there. If it makes a higher high, then great. There might be another potential entry. But
yep.
1703, right? 2, whatever.
Yep, that's exactly where I am.
Yeah. That's what I liked. Well, I think we go for a little bit longer, and if we don't get any more well, let's check. Is it a downtrend? Yes, it is a downtrend. 1, 2. Yeah, so we're going like counter trend on the Ethereum. But I like that retracement. Retracement right into this zone here. That's what I like.
Yeah, there's so many there's so many little red zones there. I don't know if I counted. I actually miscounted. I don't think I scrolled all the way out when I took this. But
no, you're fine because this is one. This is one. This is kind of it's important because it's a top, but whatever. And this one kind of holds a little bit of weight. That's why we're putting our stop down here. Right. But there's nothing here, guys. There's no red zones here. Right? So.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the target with Ethereum. Actually, I'm looking at a possible target down the road of 2058.
What do you thought? Is that based on those fib lines?
Fib retracement off a daily chart.
Yeah, but I'm laughing because I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised that it could go there.
Looks like that's where the high was back on the 20th of February. And this is just a nice strong pullback.
Well, yeah, it needs to get its gas, right? It needs to coil up and retrace.
It needed to retrace a little bit. It needed to take some nothing goes straight up, and you just have to kind of wait for it to get a strong pullback and then take another position.
I'll try to show you visually what Al's talking about. You see? This is your 4-hour chart. H4. This is your big retrace. It's a big fat retrace all the way down. That's A, B, C. And then you can have a run up again.
And that was really only 3 days, 3 days of retrace, and now it's starting to So that was basically starting on the 20th, which was basically Thursday, Friday, or Friday last week. Is pretty much.
Well, look at these wicks, Al. Look at these wicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These big fat wicks. When it comes down hard, Ethereum likes to leave these big fat wicks.
Yeah, so it's just I think
even this one. This one would be a red candle, but whatever.
At the very least, it'll come up and retest that high that it had somewhere around the 119.27 area. At the very least, it'll retest that, I would think.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be today. It's not going to be probably tomorrow. It could be today or tomorrow, but more than likely, we're talking a couple of days away.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen?
Probably by the weekend. You may see it by the weekend.
Who knows what's going to happen with this thing?
So I don't generally trade it. I just pretty much either buy pullbacks.
Yeah.
And then I just hang on to it until I decide it's time to take some profits off.
Yeah, well, actually, this appears to be a pretty good pullback.
Yeah, it is.
In just overall price perspective, it did make a higher low.
Well, it basically was a 62% pullback off the daily
off that
low.
Original move,
62%, which is it's a very common retracement factor.
Yeah, it's a psychological
50 to 62. I don't like seeing it going all the way down to 78 because that's starting to
no, I don't want to see that either.
Yeah.
I recently started getting a dialogue box when I
the US Cad trade's starting to work out a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And
I kind of set those, and I don't really worry about it.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I do too. When things are slow, I kind of glance and see what they're doing.
It's a good point. Where's that US Cad?
Sometimes I get talking. I wish I had paid a little more attention to it.
yeah. When it doesn't work out, let's see. We might get a little bit of heat on Ethereum before it goes to its target, but.
Wednesdays are usually pretty good days, or oftentimes they're trend reversal days. It goes in a trend, it pulls back and takes a little bit of profit off, or they take another positions, and oftentimes get a retracement on a Wednesday, and then Thursday goes back to profit taking, then Friday's profit taking oftentimes for the weekend. While the institutions like to close out their trades for the weekend. Then Sunday night they jump back in again.
All right, let's see. UCAD still probably has significant amount of momentum to the downside. $25.32 is where we had it. Let's take profit. This is my experiment with AIRO. Taking little pieces, right?
Yep.
No high risk, no nothing. Just aim for consistency. Any more questions? Anything that you saw that you need more clarity on? Because right now there's not a whole lot. We received a question from Roshane Lewis. I recently started getting a dialog box whenever I opening or closing a trade, and I don't know why. How do I turn it off? I need to know what the dialog box is saying, my friend. Do you mean... Let me see this. Yeah, but that's how you execute the order, my friend. You don't want that to open up? You can use one-click trading. Just be aware that if you want to click on here and you click on there instead, it's going to throw you off. Okay, well, if you're using one-click trading, it's going to execute right away. See? Instant. Right? You're not going to get that pop-up. You're also not going to get your take profit or your stop loss. So you have to right-click, modify, and then you're going to have to change your, see here, in this case, you want to do 40 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. It's going to be 40-20. You're going to click, boom, enter, done, right? That's all it is. But yeah, when you're entering a trade, you're going to have to have that window pop up. That's your confirmation that you're going to take a trade. The only exception is the one-click trading when that's on. I hope that answers your question. See, one-click trading, you right-click. No, don't put sell limits. Right-click, one-click trading, or you can click on Alt and T. And that will put your little box here where you can pick your lot size and whatever else. Then you click on right click. Heads up, guys, if you do have a lot of alerts and then you miss some and you're wondering, you want to go back and see, you can always click on experts and then go back and see. You can go down and it'll say GBP NZD, USD Cad, whatever else. It's all going to be there. But I don't know if we have anything else to talk about. If not, I do have a significant amount of things to do today. And if you guys are fine with that, then we will end it at 11:30 on the dot. Hope you guys got a couple trades there. NZD USD just broke. NZD USD. Oh, yeah, there it is. NZD.
And US CAD's working out very nicely as well.
Yeah, look at that thing. Actually, at this point, it broke out to the top. So I'm not always going to be right. You know, you make your analysis and you try to see where it could potentially go. But NZD USD, she's going up. So just so we're all on the same page here. This is what we looked at, right? Looked like it was a high probability, looked like everything was lining up, but it broke to the top. You know what? That's fine because I'm not in the trade. So it's okay to be wrong. This was a really strong bounce. Remember we put this here? I don't remember if we had that other bounce there. I don't remember if we had that yet. But either way, that's a good bounce. So let's see what's going to happen. It could just go right to the stars. From, excuse me. I'm just trying to find a wedge that we could use as it's more of a channel right now, like a price channel, than an actual wedge. See, I wouldn't want to explore that side. I'd want it to pull back and retest and tag the top of this. But we don't have an alert, right? So this is just going off of price. Just activity trend lines. This was a strong area though. NZD USD. You're going to see it on your AIRO charts. I need to check something. Hold on.
I will say the fact that we have that US Cad, there's that green zone right there where the US Cad, where they formed a zone on that pullback. I'm not opposed to taking profits at that green zone. If it breaks through the zone, then I'll look for a lower target.
Where, Al? Sorry?
The US Cad.
USD Cad, okay.
We took it short, and then they had a green zone that popped in after we got into it short.
Yeah.
And right now that zone's still there. It's in that green zone. So I'm not opposed to taking the profits, even if it's only like 7 or 10 pips profit. I'm not opposed to taking that profit. And then if it does break through that, then look for the next target area down below. Right now, the CAD is showing stronger to the dollar, but not an overly amount stronger to where I feel real confident that it's going to break through that green zone.
Interesting. Interesting. I like that. I like that perspective. You know, secure a little bag, secure your 7 to 10 pips, and walk away and
walk away and say that. Well, thank you for that, and especially now we're getting near the end of the day. The noontime, we're getting near the end of the money zone.
Yeah,
it's not bad to start clearing your trades off, especially if you see reasons to where it could give you some problems for a bounce area. You don't want to be bouncing up and then having to be fighting it for another couple hours.
Yeah, no, you don't want to be, and that's the painful part. GBP AUDs in short. Oh, we got a lot of alerts at this time. Hold on. No, just my screen's messed up. GBP AUD for short.
Yeah, take your profits, just wait for another pullback, and then try it again.
Well, GBP AUD short on the 15-minute. Let's go check this out. There's a zone here. So even though it's a weaker zone, because it's only that wick here, the more I look at this, the more it looks like he incorporated price action into the zones. You know what I mean, Al?
On which one?
Go look at GBP AUD and look where those zones are right on the wick.
GBP AUD.
Yeah, on the 15. Now that's not always going to hold true. That it's gonna. Those are just potential zones, and to be frankly honest, I see this going right through those zones. GBP AUD.
Let me see if I agree. GBP is weak. AUD is stronger. Yeah, I would say that it's very possible that could go through that. We have two zones. You have a level and a level. So I can see it going through the first one and probably get a bounce off the second one.
Yeah.
Are you
So-
short with this one?
Not yet.
No, I wouldn't take it short right now.
No, I'm looking for a pullback to the point where GBP AUD, I'm looking at, well, this is one of my other wedges that I've had for a little bit. So pound Aussie, I lined it up here. I didn't reline it here because this was already there. So it came up, it retested the wedge, and then it broke, and then I put the stick where, so the width of the stick is somewhere over there.
One thing I like, if you go back to your chart, your AIRO chart with this GBP
Yes,
AIRO
sir.
AUD, you'll see if you have your AIRO moving average and your 200 moving average, you'll see that we have the red candle, series of red candles across the AIRO moving average. It's moving down. It was still above the 200, but the price went down to the 200, broke through it, came back up, retested the AIRO moving average. That was the, then once it broke back down through the 200, that gave you confirmation that this thing was going more short. But by the time you got the AIRO confirmation on that trade, you're already at the target. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. You're totally right. Look at this thing. It broke the 200 and boom, it just crashed. There was
Actually,
a real strong zone here.
Actually, it broke the 200, came back above. It passed the
Oh, yeah,
check
it
to
did.
200,
Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Then it retested the AIRO. But it was, again, remember I said, at least in the Hawkeye section, I know I said it before, where when these moving averages are pointing down or they're pointing up, don't try and go against that direction until it flattens out. You want it to flatten. You can see like the 200 is flattened out. The AIRO moving average is still pointing down. That gives you a good indication that it challenged the 200, but the AIRO moving average was still pointing down enough to where it came up, tagged it, and that was your entry to once you got the confirmation back below the 200. It came up, it sort of formed a wedge. It came up, retested the trend line or the moving average, and then it broke down again, and then popped out the bottom of the wedge and gave you that bigger, that nicer move. There was a
Right.
classic wedge formation with a flat bottom, or even a slightly, you had a high, a low, a lower high, a higher low. It broke it, passed it, checked it, and then came back down again. You didn't get the AIRO at that point in time, but that's the basic price action analysis
Nice.
of what these things are doing to see where this was almost like a classic wedge, descending wedge breakout.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. And you can see kind of like A, B, C correction, and then it keeps on going down. I don't know. I'm not into this wave counting stuff very much. I just know certain ones. But it's on its way down for a correction. GBP AUD sell, second AIRO, lower probability. Yes. The second AIRO, at least in my own observations, I can't speak for anyone else, but I just find them to be lower probability. But right into a zone, not taking it, because I need it to come back up if it's going to come, and then it'll give you a better entry, a tighter stop loss, and more room to the downside. So it's not always a bad thing to wait. And you want to see what I'm talking about, look at this AIRO. If you would have got in here, you would have been in that heat. If you would have waited, then maybe there's a better entry here and a lot more profit. Here, you see, there's the AIRO. You're going to take that heat. And then once you finally have the turnaround point, here, you're going to get a little bit of heat, not much. So just because you don't take it right away doesn't mean it's not a good trade. And sometimes you can wait a couple minutes or 10, 20 minutes. Maybe sometimes you'll get an even better entry. I think I am done for the day, gentlemen. Do you guys think we end her here for now?
I think we're good.
What do you
Thanks
think?
as always, guys.
We had a couple good trades, and monitor
Yeah, I
the
think-
ones that are still open.
Yeah, overall today, I think we had just a great day altogether. And we will talk sooner than later, my friend. Look at this profit. We're up, what, in pip wise? Let's talk about pips. How about that? I'm trailing. Profit, pips, 22 pips. We'll take that all day. What's that? TP 52. So that means still another 20 pips. Oh, it can still go quite a bit, but I'm happy with that. That'll make the wife happy, you know. Put a little thing in there. All right, so we're good to go. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending time with us today. I hope you learned something. I hope it wasn't too overwhelming. If it was too overwhelming, stick with us. Exposure. The more you're exposed to this, the more comfortable you become, the more you observe, the more confident you'll become, and the more you take these demo trades, the more consistent you'll become. So thank you so much for everything, and we'll see you tomorrow, either at early in the morning, 2 a.m. for the London session, Eastern time, or 7:30 a.m. Eastern time for the Hawkeye, and then the 9 o'clock trade call happens as well tomorrow. So there's lots of trading to be done, and we'll save this and give you guys some updates later on. Thank you so much. See you guys all later.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks.